passed to ensure the enforcement of the Constitution. And when the Voting Rights Act was passed, only one Republican, these Republicans in this house don't even know who they are, only one Republican voted against the Voting Rights Act, and his name was Strom Thurmond. 111 Republicans voted for the Voting Rights Act. They don't even know their own history. This crowd, they're not Republican or Democrat, they are extremists. My own father, it's personal. Say it's personal. My own father had 2 master's degrees in 1960, and he didn't have the protected right to vote when he came back to the South. This right is sacred, this right is personal, and our fight is not just political, it's personal. For the sisters, all the women, raise your hand. For the women, the right to vote started in Seneca Falls in 1848. And I don't know if you know it, but on July 15, 1848, this past Friday, Frederick Douglass, the former slave abolitionist, joined Elizabeth Canton and the other women at Seneca Falls and endorsed the Seneca Falls Declaration. Don't let them make you think that black and white folk just started coming together to fight for what's right. And at Seneca Falls, one of the resolutions, the resolves was, this is the duty of women of this country to secure to themselves the sacred right to vote. But after that declaration, it would take 72 years for Congress to ratify the 19th Amendment, guaranteeing all American women the right to vote. And many who started the fight were dead by the time victory came in 1920. Touch your neighbor and say, this right is sacred. And this fight is personal. And young people didn't get the right to vote until nearly 200 years after the founding of this country. Not until after young blood was shed in Vietnam. Only then could people under 21 vote, even though they had died in every war this country had ever fought. It was on July 5th, 1971, that Richard Nixon, of all people, I told you these Republicans don't know who they are. When they try to stop students from voting, they're going against their own history. Richard Nixon signed the 26th Amendment that allowed those 18 years or older to vote. Somebody say the right to vote is sacred. And this fight is personal. And so we're not standing in this sun just for fun. The right to vote has come through many dangers, toils, and snares. And that's why any group of politicians who want to suppress the right to vote in any way, they are engaging in crimes against democracy. And we will fight them anytime, any place, anywhere. Every time, every attempt by Speaker Tillis, Senate Leader Berger, Governor McCrory, and their band of merry men and women to suppress the right to vote is a crime against democracy. Every time they lie and spew untrue propaganda to the people of North Carolina about voting and voter fraud, it's a crime against democracy. When Senator Apodaca describes the Voting Rights Act as a headache, he's committing a form of dangerous disrespect against the fundamental principle of American democracy. He sounds like Strom Thurmond or George Wallace or somebody. He needs to get his head fixed and his heart regulated, because he's thinking like he's in the 19th century. When you try to rig the election and deny people a free and unfettered right to vote, it's a crime against democracy. When you fear voters and you attempt to deny the vote for your own political advantage, that's a crime against democracy. When you desecrate the lives and the struggles and the memories of all those who fought for the right to vote, it's a crime against democracy. When you deny health insurance to the sick and unemployment benefits to workers and raise taxes on the poor and working poor, and then you implement voodoo economics and you try to deny public education to low-wealth communities, and after you do all of that, then you want to deny the right to vote. You want to create 21st century Jim Crow, poll taxes through voter IDs, which will hurt the elderly, poor, and minorities. And then you want to pass a voter ID that's worse than Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia, and Indiana. And then you want to scale back and eliminate early voting and same-day registration and Sunday voting. And then you want to decrease and suppress participation, and you want to rule by default. And then you want to draw racially motivated redistricting maps that segregate black voters and disallows black and white people and Latinos from coming together to elect candidates of their choice. That's a crime against democracy. And we must fight back. Tell somebody we must fight back. Say it again, we must fight back. Because if we don't have the ballot, money wins.
That's right.
But somebody in this crowd ought to say, we are not for sale.
We are not for sale.
Maybe Tillis is for sale. Maybe McCory is for sale. Maybe Barber is for sale. Maybe they will prostitute themselves to the highest bidder. But we are not for sale. We got to fight back. This is a crime against democracy. And I stop by to tell you that this is no time to be calm, cool, and amenable. This is no time to accept things. We've been through too much. We learned too much. We've seen too many battles. We've waged too many struggles. It's on now. You thought it was on when you touched unemployment. It's really on now. When you mess with the right to vote, you mess with the heart of our democracy. When you mess with the right to vote, you desecrate the graves and the blood of the martyrs. And so we need to let them know, you think you've seen a fight. You ain't seen nothing yet. We'll fight over the right to vote. Yes, we will. Because nobody gave us the right to vote. Our grandmamas cried for it. Our grandfathers died for it. Our parents sacrificed for it. Our soldiers died for it. And our young people bled for it. And if you think we're going to allow any group of politicians to take or suppress the right to vote without a fight, you must be out of your doggone mind. Must be out of your mind. No, we will fight for full, unabridged, unfettered, unhindered, undenied right to vote. And not only will we fight, we're going to win. Because the 14th Amendment still guarantees equal protection under the law. We're going to win. The 15th Amendment still says you can't deny or abridge the right to vote. We're going to win. The 24th Amendment says you can't make me pay a poll tax to vote. We're going to win. Our Constitution says that all elections must be free. We're going to win. Our state constitution says the only qualification for voters is that they be 18, born or naturalized in these United States. We're going to win. We've never had to test some of this before in the courts because we've never had a legislature since the 19th century that was foolish enough to go against the Constitution. But since you're crazy, we're going to help you get some sense. We're going to win. Yeah, we're going to test. Tell him to turn this up. We're going to test everything they do in the courts. And we are going to fight. Either because we went through it or because we heard Nikki Michaud and Dr. Turner talk about it. We know what racism looks like. We know what suppression looks like. We know what it smells like. We know how it walks, no matter how it's wrapped up. And so every obstacle that they try to put up, we will overcome. Because this right to vote and to fight for it is not just political, it's personal. Somebody shout, it's personal. The whole world can see through your lies, legislators. The whole world can see through your lies about voter fraud and voter integrity. 20 million votes cast, only one incident of fraud, and you claim you're protecting the integrity of the vote. I said at the church, at least you ought to be like Jesse Helms and be bold and honest. If anything I have a little respect for is a ultra extremist that won't tell you that's who he is. And instead try to play around and try to come up with cute ways to make what they're wrong seem right. We know what you're up to. Maybe you're stuck in the 19th century, but we're not. Maybe you're stuck in Jim Crow and in the Old South, but we're not. And we have come to serve notice that we will unleash every political, legal, and moral strategy that we can to create the new South, but we will not go back. The more you try to suppress the right to vote, the more we will register and vote. You can't stop the people, we will win. You can't stop the flow of democracy. You can't take government of the people, by the people, from the people. You can't stop truth. You can't stop justice. You can't stop right. We will rise up its own now. Our best lawyers will fight you. Our best organizers will fight you. Our best preachers will declare the truth. Our best rabbis will tell the story. But we will not go back. We've come too far. We stand on the shoulders of the martyrs. We've been baptized in the blood of those who've gone before us. We won't go back. We walk in the power of the God of justice. We move in the spirit of the Lord of righteousness. This land is our land. North Carolina will be a state where the weak grow strong and the strong grow great. All elections will be free. You cannot suppress our right to vote. And you ask yourself, how we gonna win? And you got the temporary votes right now. I'm gonna tell you, Mickey, how we gonna win. Because we're reading a different history book. We may not win every vote, but we're gonna win the battle. Because when I look back at how we got over, Lord help me here, our parents won with less than we have today. With less, they beat slavery. I wish I had a witness here. With less, they beat Jim Crow. With less, they beat lynching. With less, they beat the Ku Klux Klan. With less, Harriet Tubman got 500 slaves out of slavery. She didn't have email. She didn't have Twitter. She didn't have textbook. She didn't have a car. All she had was faith in God. trusting God when she had epilepsy. She had a .38 pistol on her side. She had moss on the north side of the tree and a North Star in the middle of the night. If she could win then, surely we're going to win now. Oh, God, help me here. Thurgood Marshall beat the Supreme Court. They had less than we have. Martin Luther King beat racism. Had less than we have. Nelson Mandela beat apartheid. Had less than we have. So we will beat you. Oh, you might win a vote. You might gloat for a season. But no matter what you do, we're going to win ultimately. Because we're going to use our voices to speak truth to power. We're going to use our feet to march for justice. We're going to use our hands to pull a ballot box. We're going to use our pulpits to sound the alarm. We're going to use our organizations to get the people together. We're going to turn loose our lawyers in the courts. We're going to trust God in everything we do. We're going to pray for you while we fight you. But we're going to win. You may try to stop the people, but it won't work. You may tell lies, but it won't work. Your distortions will be exposed. Your efforts will come to naught. And so turn to your neighbor and say, let us not despair. I used to hear my daddy say before he died, that whenever you're in the struggle for justice, don't ever forget that you've got a cosmic companion. I know some of you struggle with that, and that's okay. We all brothers and sisters. But some of us have been through enough hell, we've got to know there's a God in heaven. We've got to know that when our backs are against the wall, we got some help from another quarter. We got some help from another region. We've got some help from a higher source. That's how we keep fighting. Because Moses beat Pharaoh because God showed up. David beat Goliath because God showed up. Jesus beat death because God showed up. What they mean for evil will be turned to good because God has shown up. No weapon formed against us will prosper because God is with us. The Lord is our light and our salvation. Whom shall we fear? We're going to stand in the promises of God. We're going to stand in the promises of truth. The Lord is with us. I need somebody that knows the word and the worth of prayer, that say the Lord is with us. We've been here before, but God has always shown up and made a way. Somehow, through the storm, we're gonna make it. Somehow, through this crazy legislature, we're gonna make it. Somehow, through the money, we're gonna make it. I heard the word when it said, if God is with you, does not matter if the whole world is against you. One can chase 1,000. Two can put 10,000 to flight. Wish somebody would lift your hands and say, I believe that it ain't over. It ain't over. It ain't over till God says it's over. We're going forward. And there's one thing we're not going to do. We are not going back. 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 Bring it down just a little bit. There's a medical emergency. We need one of our doctors over here. We got a doctor center over there. Just raise your hand if there's a medical emergency. The doctor will find. Put the placards down. Is there a medical emergency? Raise where it is. Where is it? Everything's okay. Okay, it's over there. They'll go. Raise your hand. Over there. They're coming to you. They're coming to you. We got it. Bring it up. I won't go back. Bring it up. Bring it up. Bring it up all the way. This song says, I won't go back. I want you to sing it. Then our speakers are coming.